Bendera yetu lazima iheshimiwe na kila mmoja wetu.
Two Somali minors were taken to court this week after being accused of desecrating the Kenyan flag at Nyayo Stadium. The two boys, aged 14 and 17, were captured on a video stepping on the Kenyan flag during a football match at the stadium. The video, which circulated widely, angered many Kenyans who saw it as disrespectful to the national symbol. Police officers acted quickly after the footage emerged, arresting the teenage and presenting them before the court. The charges brought against the two minors are serious. They face accusation of being in the country illegally, damaging the Kenyan flag, which is recognized as the national symbol of unity, and causing disruption in a public place. The charges combine both immigration and criminal aspect, making the case stand out. The desecration of the flag in particular is treated under the Kenyan law as an offense because of its symbolic importance. When the boys appeared in court, they did not take any plea. The case was handled by Senior Resident Magistrate Rose Gitau, who made several key orders. She directed that the two minors should not be remanded in a regular detention facility, but instead be taken to Gigiri Children's Protection Unit. The magistrate also ordered that a social inquiry report be prepared before the minors are called upon to respond to the charges. The report will provide details about their family backgrounds, their living condition, and any other information that the court may need before deciding the next steps. During the hearing, relatives of the minor attempted to secure their release. They asked the court to allow the children to be placed under their custody until the matter is settled. However, the court rejected the application after it was established that those seeking custody were not their biological parents of the boys. The magistrate insisted that only proper guardianship and biological parents could take responsibility of the minors. With no such arrangement available, the boys remain under state protection. The Kenyan flag holds special significance in the country. It is not just about a piece of a cloth, but a symbolic of independence, unity, and pride. The black, the red, the green, and the white color carries a deep meaning about the peoples of Kenya, their struggles, and their heritage. Desecrating the flag is often seen as an insult not only to the government but also to the people themselves. That is why this case has drawn strong emotions, with many Kenyans calling for firm actions against those who disrespect the symbol. The case also brings attention to the issue of minors facing the law. In Kenya, children in conflict with the law are handled differently from others. The Children Act and other legal instrument require that minors be treated in a way that consider their age, their potential for rehabilitation, and their rights. By sending the boys to the Gigiri Children's Protection Unit instead of normal remanded prison, the court followed these principles. The unity is designed, or the unit is designed to offer safe environment for children while the cases are processed. Senior Resident Magistrate Rose Gitau emphasized the importance of social inquiry report. This report is often prepared by appropriation officer or a children's officer, and it helps the court to understand the circumstances of young offenders. It may include interviews with the family members, teachers, and community leaders, as well as assessment of their children's education and behavior. The court will use the finding to decide whether the minor should take responsibility for their action in a juvenile settings or through other corrective measures. The legal process for desecrating a national symbol as preceded in Kenya. In previous cases, adults accused of mishandling or defacing the flag have been fined or sentenced, depending on the seriousness of the act. However, cases involving children are rare, which makes this one unique. The court will have to balance the seriousness of the offense with the fact that the accusers are minors. The relatives who saw the custody of the boys argued that they could look after them while the case proceeded. They made their case in court, but the magistrate ruled that the guardianship must be clear and legally recognized. Without a proof that they were their biological parents or legal guidance, the request could not be accepted. This decision underscored the court's courteous in handling children in legal matters, ensuring that those with proper responsibilities are allowed to take custody. Police officers involved in the case say the minors were arrested shortly after the video spread on social media. Security agencies have become increasingly alert to cases where national symbols are insulted, especially when videos circulate online and provoke public outrage. The arrest was meant to send a message that such acts would not be tolerated. The boys' cases the boys' cases come at a time when Nyayo Stadium has been a venue for both sports and political events. Often under heavy security, the stadium is a national landmark and has hosted a key national ceremony in the past. The presence of the flag at the venue is part of the tradition and protocol. Disintegrating it there was seen as especially proactive. In Kenya, immigration issues are also tied monitored. Since the boys are reportedly to be Somali nationals, the charges of being in the country illegally was added to the case. Immigration officers are expected to provide details on their status in Kenya as part of the proceedings. These charges added one another layer to the case, meaning the outcome may not involve the courts but also immigration authorities. As the case process, the minors remain under state care. The Kigire Children's Protection Unit has taken them in, where they will stay until the next court appearance. The unit is known for handling children in similar situations, offering them basic needs and counseling where their legal matters are ongoing. For the boys, this is where they will wait the next step in their case. The magistrate is set on Wednesday next week as the date for the case to return to court. By then, social inquiry report is expected to be ready. Once the report is presented, the court will decide whether the boys will be required to take a plea and how the charges will proceed. This marks the next stage in a case that has already drawn wider public attention.